Hi, I'm Amanda McCoy Flanagan.
And I'm Ginny Smith. Welcome to Soul Rising.
On this podcast, you'll hear honest, off-the-cuff, vulnerable conversations about all things love, loss, and connection.
Deep and meaningful conversations sure to pull at your heartstrings and enlighten your soul.
Again, welcome. It's time to let your soul rise. Are you disillusioned by the media, big business, and our government's disregard for human life and human connection? Are you disheartened by our society's obsession with consumerism and our wasteful mindset? Do you feel like you must have the latest gadget and be up to speed on the latest headline, or else you're going to be left behind? Hey everybody, welcome back. Soul Rising episode 1111.
Yes, welcome back everybody. We're so glad to be with you today. Thank you for showing up to hang out with us for our episode 11.
Yes.
I love this so much. It always feels like anytime we're walking back in here, we're just like picking up where we left off in a way.
Yeah, I love this time. I love the times that we get to record this show because it just feels like we're so in a flow and it just feels like so purposeful and so meaningful in what we're supposed to be doing. So
yeah,
we know there's so many shows out there. People are talking about all good stuff. So as always, like we say in every show, we want to thank you
absolutely
for taking your time, for turning this on, for finding us,
for listening. Like it blew my mind this weekend. I help out at my kid's school and shout out to Miss Williams and Miss Rory. You guys are amazing.
What's up, Miss Williams and Miss Rory?
Yeah, Miss Roar.
Roar. Like the lion?
You like the lion?
Oh, you're amazing. I love you even more, Miss Roar.
And her hair is like a lion, too. It's the coolest, thickest hair.
Me too. You
got
to get together. And,
yeah. She's listened to all our episodes, and so is Miss Williams. And you
Thank
guys,
you.
Yeah, we were in a board meeting, and they're talking. You haven't heard the episodes. They've listened to all 10 episodes. You guys rule and you're amazing. And thank you for following along with us. And then even talking to me about how you found things that you've connected to about your life, because it's what we're trying to do here. So big shout out to all of you guys that are like listening to all the episodes. People are listening, Amanda.
That's amazing. And another like real awesome synchronicity that Ginny and I, we got this like higher level thing going on between us.
Yes.
She was in that board meeting and her school that she's on the board for is in the Parker City Lifestyle magazine. Yeah. Turns out I'm also in the Parker City Lifestyle magazine for my book.
The same.
Isn't that crazy?
Freaking edition or issue, yeah.
I was calling it edition too. I don't remember myself with issue.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this edition, yes, the issue. And I had someone else that was like, dude, isn't this your podcasting partner and friend? I'm like, oh, how did we end up in the... Just
so
again,
cool. Yeah, so Ginny and I, we've heard it from a lot of people. We like our chemistry and stuff like that. So that's why this time just feels so special to me. I just love doing this. I think it's my favorite part of the whole shebang that I'm doing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Because like I think a lot of times I'd be a lot crazier than I am if I didn't have the time to like come here and like talk it out with you and all of you guys. I mean, seriously, this is. I know you hear us go off tangent. Oh, what?
Yeah.
That was one thing because the other principal's like, how long are the episodes? And she's like, well, usually like an hour. Well, she's like, well, it just depends. Does Ginny go off on a tangent or not? She goes, but they always bring it back. She's like, I love the tangents. It's what we do. We still keep it anchored. It's real, Amanda. And you know what? Good for us because this is the time to try to be as authentic as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
So thank you, Amanda.
So this is a show that like Ginny and I are kind of chomping at the bit to get out to you guys today.
Yeah.
This is something that I am highly passionate about and just feels so important and timely for us to be speaking about this and for you guys who are here listening to really consider how you're living. So we're calling this episode Down with the Sickness.
Oh my gosh. And how perfect because I, especially lately, have felt like it is actually a sickness. And we're like voluntarily, we're like just, this is the way that we've been living. And it does feel like a sickness all the way around. We haven't even known it. I feel like we don't even know.
We don't even know what's going on. There's different things that are going on in our body, chemically, biologically, and there are shifts happening. And some of that is out of our control, but so much of it is in our control. The show today is about consumerism, and it's about how we are all obsessed with getting the thing, the fast fashion, the $10 shirt, I'll wear it once and throw it away, the cheap furniture, which Ginny's going to launch into, if we want to talk about Ginny's amazing upcycling company that she just started redoing furniture and giving furniture a second life, a second chance on life. And it's extremely important for us to talk about it. And it might get touchy, and it might get, it's really going to get super real in terms of how down we are with the sickness, right?
Yeah.
That we're welcoming it. We're voluntarily, like Ginny just said, we're accepting it. We're saying, well, there's nothing else we could do. There's nothing else we could do. Our hands are tied. They are not. The point of the show today is to empower you to change one, if you feel you need to. Maybe you don't. But if this is something that's been on your mind and it's like, you know what, when I'm out to lunch with my girlfriends or boyfriends or whoever, and the waiter's giving out straws, and I feel like silly saying, no, thank you, I'm good, I don't need a straw. Because then everybody kind of looks at you and they're like, what do you think, you're going to go save the sea turtles or some shit? Yeah. And it's like, not necessarily, maybe I can keep a straw out of one of their noses. That would be nice.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I mean, they'd probably appreciate that.
Or out of a landfill. Yeah. They probably appreciate. Yeah. You're all, I know it's great. Let's go kill some turtles. Sounds freaking awesome.
But it's about your standing in your power in that moment. It's about you saying, you know what, I might look like the odd man out. I might look like the quote unquote
tree hugger,
freak, progressive, whatever you want to call me, liberal, climate change, whatever idea people are going to have of you, to say, no, that's okay. You could think whatever you want of me, but it's more important for me to do the thing that feels right to my soul.
Right.
That I feel like I'm getting a high five from my spirit guide. You're staying true to yourself. You're honoring yourself.
Yeah.
You have dignity. You have self-respect. That's the point of the show. It's not to guilt anybody. It's not to say, oh, you're all, doing this. Because I'm guilty of many things. Many things. I live consciously. I live mindfully. Right. But this is not like, I want to let you guys know right off the bat, this is not about me being like, oh, Ginny and I are these great, sustainable people. And
Miss Greenie McGee. Is it going to be Greenie McGee, Amanda?
I did sing Kumbaya on the last episode.
Oh, she did. It was pretty great. I kind of loved it. But what's crazy is we talk about American culture because you talk about in Spain, all these older countries. And what's the culture there that the food is rich, or it's the culture there that they eat a lot of fish because they're on the coast, or whatever, whatever the deal is. Our culture is built on consuming
in so many ways, not just talking about shopping, right? We think of consumerism as shopping and having things, consuming in every way, right? The food that we consume.
We need right now.
And we need everything fast right now, and we need more of everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's content on the internet or it's a show, or it's just in any way that you're consuming information, putting stuff in your body, or you're buying things. Yes.
And it's to feel better.
Yeah.
And I love that we're in a free country, and I love that anyone here is in a position to start a business or do something and make as much money, and that no one's putting a cap on that or any of those things. That's great. Yes. At the same time, it's been very challenging for me lately to really recognize how much money is made off of these emotional sticking points with us, of dopamine seeking, you guys.
So it's all about.
Yes, whether that be through food, sugar, having the next cool thing. Even if you're not a wealthy person, but you could get what looks like a leather pair of pants at Walmart that was made, somewhere by probably some
children
kid in Vietnam or whatever, to be like, okay, now I feel better because I have the next thing. This is part of the business plan.
Yes. I mean, I'm just going to say right now, thank God for the First Amendment.
Good call.
I say something I believe that I'm allowed to say this.
We're allowed to have our opinions.
And it's a fact that the majority of stuff we're getting on Amazon is made in China, and the stuff we're getting in Walmart and everywhere else that we're shopping, basically everywhere, made even in nice stores. A lot of it is made in China.
A lot of the time.
And we don't care because we're like, it's cheaper. And they've also got us over the barrel, right? Because things are cheaper. How are we supposed to say no? How are we supposed to say no? I'm going to go and spend $5 more on that thing because it's made in the USA. For me personally, I would rather spend an extra couple of bucks.
Yep.
We vote with our money. We vote with our feet, and we vote with our money.
That's right.
And if I am not willing to be the person to say, you know what, no, I'm not going to get that thing from China, even though it's $10 cheaper. Maybe I don't even need that thing.
There's a good
one.
chance, but you're trying to get out of this state of feeling some kind of way, right? Where it's like, well, I will feel better though if I, get that pair of sweats.
Don't get me wrong. I do use Amazon.
I know.
And I love when I come home and there's a package and it's like, oh, great, that's awesome. I got something. And my kids are so excited when the Amazon truck is there. And it's like, what are we doing?
Well,
what am I doing?
The fact that it's part of our everyday culture now.
And you get it in 2 days.
Or the same freaking day. Are you kidding
Can't
me?
even.
The other day, and I got my kids' backpacks for school on Amazon. And that's the thing, you guys. I'm not sitting here trying to be like,
exactly.
Hey,
we're
what's
not.
up? We're so much better than you.
Exactly. No, we're part of the problem as well. And this is what we do here on this show: is we bring ourselves into it. We are never trying to come to you from some kind of hilltop.
Right.
We're saying we're trying to heal ourselves by talking about it and outing ourselves. Really,
quite honestly, outing ourselves. I'm so grateful here lately that I get to take these walks with my husband Tom in the morning. Like, that would have not been a thing had I still been at my job. It just wouldn't have been. When I did have to commute into Denver, I was out the door by 6. We got to watch the sunrise today walking every morning. Like, it's fantastic. But having this thought that us being the elevated and top of the food chain and us as a species on this planet, that we're the ones who are just so much more advanced than everything else. And meanwhile, I just had this thought, like, everything else is functioning without the concern of like getting the next thing or cheapest thing or how am I going to pay my mortgage? All those wild turkeys that are out. And you guys have them out here?
Yeah, we have them.
Yeah, watching them do their thing. And I'm like, there is no other species right now that's concerned. Everything that they need to sustain a decent life is already here and it's free.
And Earth is providing everything that we need.
Exactly. And again, I'm part of this because I'm a human being. We are very convinced it's like we've lost connection with the whole balance of all the things. We're above everything. We're ahead of everything.
It speaks to the entitlements. And I don't know where this all started, if it was just a natural ego sort of thing for man to survive. Again, I'm not really sure where this all happened. It's just spinning so far out of control.
Right.
To the point where we are being extremely irresponsible.
Yes.
We are killing the earth. And I'm not even going to get into climate change and all that because it doesn't even matter whether you believe in it or not.
Right.
This is not so much about how we're killing the earth. It's more about how you can feel connected and true to your soul. And every time you make a choice to do something differently that's more sustainable or more responsible, or that your soul will smile, that you will feel that connection to yourself. But like we became this like master of the universe.
Yes.
When we need to be respecting the entire circle of life.
We're small. Maybe that's what it is. I need to feel like I'm in power. I need to feel like I have things.
It's all about power and control and ego
fear.
and dopamine.
And dopamine, yes. And it's like we're all chasing. And it's part of what's ingrained in the culture constantly, whether that is we can stream or having, Wi-Fi, which is, by the way, like, that's a luxury. Not everyone has my son the other day just realized we pay for Wi-Fi. He was like,
God, it's just like, part of
he goes, what are you talking about? And I'm like, bro, this is not free. He's like, but Netflix is free. I'm like, it's not. We're paying. And I started thinking about the amount of money that out of the gate. Okay, because I'm guilty. All right. Question time. Quiz time, everyone. Let's take a poll. Who has and who pays the now rate of, I don't know what it is, but it's around $180 a year to have Prime on Amazon? Oh, me.
I don't. I refuse.
You don't?
I refuse.
My God, I'm so happy right now.
I refuse to do Prime.
Good for you.
Because
we pay for that shit. And you know how many people, because we're getting free shipping.
Amazon is my last resort, I will say. And if,
Good for you.
I actually enjoy going to a store, and I understand people are very busy and stuff like that, but I like to hold something in my hand. I don't like getting something and then being like, God, I don't like this. Now I gotta take more time out of my day and go over to Kohl's or Whole Foods and then
spend more gas. You're gonna take it back. They're gonna put it back in packaging to get sent back. Go through the shipping and all of that again. Because why? Because I need the convenience of having it right now.
Because this color blue is not the exact blue that I thought it was going to be. So I feel like I deserve that exact blue. So I'm going to send this thing back. Some people say, well, you're giving people jobs and this and that. And this, Yeah, I don't know about all that. I think ultimately the waste on top of it and the gas, it's the mentality, people. It doesn't even matter about the outcome. What I'm trying to drive home here is this mentality that we're carrying around that is going to be the demise. And I'm sorry if I sound doom and gloom, but my whole thing is that our unhealed energy, all this sort of chaotic energy, this entitled energy, this fear energy, this I need, I want, I deserve energy is going to bring us down faster than any climate change, than any tsunami, than any war, any nuclear bomb, whatever it is, because our disconnection to each other when we're driven with those sort of ideas, ideals, behaviors, thoughts, I deserve, all that kind of stuff. It's a separation sort of mindset.
100%. And it works great. Again, there's people who really benefit from us having this sense of like need and emptiness, you guys. We're filling voids.
Yes.
All of us in one way or another. I don't care what your situation, even if you grew up Pollyanna and everything's fantastic. There's something in you being a human being during this time, you are struggling with some level of balancing things out about how you feel. Whether you're male, female, gay, straight, whatever your ethnicity is, we're all working through these things about what it is to be a human during this time because we're living in a time right now, first of all, the technology that we have that's happened in the last, say, let's just say 20 even years. How long? The iPhone hasn't even been around 20 years. I don't think. I think it's like 15 or 16.
I got my first, it was like a Nokia.
Yes.
It wasn't even a flip phone. It was just a straight up phone, right?
Yeah.
And like the buttons on it, it's just a phone.
Yeah.
I think I was 21, so that was about 22 years
You did
ago.
T9
I didn't
text.
get an iPhone. Yes. 1, 2, 3 to get to the C.
You had to really, it didn't matter. You're sending a text message, that shit had to matter.
I held out on the iPhone for like as long as I could. I held out on Facebook and Instagram for as long as I could. And this, I also want to go into the whole like feeling left behind, right?
Oh
like
my God. If
I'm not up to snuff with the latest technology, with whatever's made available to us, then I am falling behind. There's a fear there that if I'm not up to speed, well, first it's I'm not good enough, speaks to feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. That I need that thing to stay up with you. I'm so impressed when I know people that are not on social media.
Yeah, it's literally like a wow, good for you. That's the words that come out of my mouth. Wow, good for you.
And again, it's this addiction piece that they have tapped into. I didn't want to get too far into social media on this episode, but we're just kind of going there.
Well, because consumerism, I mean, let's be real.
It's all part of it.
It's all
consuming this information 24/7.
And personally fed ads, algorithms. To sell us shit.
It's crazy. But so we all sit around and say how we don't like that. Yet we are responsible for creating the demand for it. If we didn't like it, we'd stop using it. So somewhere inside we do like it because it's kicking out that dopamine that we are addicted to. And now that I can say I'm extremely guilty of.
Oh, God.
Extremely guilty of. If I'm noticing, like it's the times are becoming closer and closer together. I'm like, okay, wait, I got to go check something.
Literally getting dopamine.
Lighting up a part of my brain.
It's the same thing that happens when you get all sevens on a freaking slot machine.
It's crazy.
You literally get the same thing.
And they've tapped into that. So there's two sides to this, right? Like in one breath, we could say, we're at their mercy and we can't control this machine that's coming at us. But on the other side of that is, no, I can override that. I am strong enough. If I quit smoking cigarettes, I quit drinking alcohol.
Oh my God.
I'm actually about 2 weeks off of coffee right now.
Which is insane. You might as well be a zombie. I don't even know who you are. What the fuck are you doing? I'm allergic to my coffee too. Come on.
So that's not like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm so great. I get crazy when I drink coffee. I realize I get irritable, I get anxious, I get nasty, I get short with people, and I just don't want to be that way anymore.
Yeah, that's a great, but that's just enormous. But you're right. Like if you could get yourself out of that, because again, we've all got addictions to some degree. Some of us have had them that have been more dangerous in ways or very obviously dangerous than others. But like this, like you're talking about with the phone, same for me, but painting is what has done it. I'll walk away from my phone for hours.
Oh, yeah. When I was writing my book, I wasn't on it.
I leave my phone every morning now when I walk. My husband and I never did this. I leave the phone. And
I don't bring it up
like
in the bedroom. I don't bring it up in the bedroom.
That's fantastic.
I don't do that. And then also talking about like everything's listening, right? Like the Alexa, the Siri. Oh my gosh.
Yes. I sit back and I'm like, how weird and gaslighty. Like that we're all, yes, we live in capitalist and it's great and everyone can make money and freedom, 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 freedom. And meanwhile, it's like, bro, they're on our shit all the time.
We are not free. I have said that before. So this is sort of like, if you haven't listened to the first episode, go listen to the first episode because this is a bit like we touched on this briefly. This is a big explanation of all of that. But yes, we are not free.
No. And being thoroughly convinced like, oh yes, you're right to do this and you're right to do that. But it's like, meanwhile, you're in the
matrix.
Yeah.
They are controlling everything.
I was talking to Tom again, you know, being in the situation of going into business for myself. And you hear people say, oh, businesses fail. Like, people don't do it. You need the security. You need this. There's so many people who think I'm batshit.
No, Ginny, you are going to do this. Without doubt.
I feel it like in my core, but it's like, we are convinced if you're not working, and I don't mind hard work. I'm not afraid of hard work. But to be in a position where we're working our asses off, all of this energy that you have to put towards that, you're making most people, not everybody. And I grew up in New Mexico where, I mean, those numbers are below the level of poverty. It's larger, but most people, no matter the amount of money they're making, we're set up in a way that we're spending.
It's never enough.
It's never
You're going
enough.
into debt. Oh my gosh. It brings me to this. So Friday night we were at the Douglas County Fair and Rodeo. And we walk up. We're walking in. Woman goes, oh, do you have your tickets? And I was like, tickets? Like, I didn't think I needed a ticket to just like walk through the fair. Like, I thought I would pay for things once I'm in there, right? It was $10 a person for the four of us, $40.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, I felt like Michael Douglas in Falling Down. I was a lunatic. My husband had to take me aside and be like,
you need to calm down.
Don't do this. Don't make the kids feel bad that like you don't want to spend the money for they to like go into this fair because with kids, when we talk about money, they feel like guilty. They're like, oh, you don't have to get that, so I don't want them to feel bad. And the woman who asked for tickets, like I was visibly like, what? I was like, we have to pay to just like walk in? And I don't know if that's how it's always been. Maybe I'm just getting old and not in tune with the times.
I think the difference is that it used to be like, okay, that's $2 to get in. I don't, like $40 for a family.
And we have to buy tickets to go on the rides. The tickets, each ride is like 12 tickets, and each ticket's like 50 cents. $24 for us to ride the Ferris wheel.
The four of you guys.
Yeah.
So you're at $64 at that point to go have a Ferris wheel.
Just to go on the damn Ferris wheel. I said to Jim, I was like, how do people afford this?
Right.
How do people do this? It's not fair. Eventually, he had to shut me down. He's like, stop. Like just have a good time.
Yeah.
But I was just like, how are people doing this? I feel bad for people that can't afford things.
My husband's a teacher. Yeah. Changing lives, man. Changing lives.
Yes,
which is amazing.
He is.
And none of the teachers get paid enough. None of the administrators get enough, by the way. All of you, thank you so much for everything you do. So if you're a cop and a teacher, let's just say you're that family, that the husband's a cop or a fireman and that mom is a teacher or a stay-at-home
nurse
mom, like because you can't pay for daycare, if you're like the person who's managing IHOP or whatever, which by the way, kick ass because we need you and you're out there working your ass off.
IHOP, first job right here, IHOP. I was a hostess. And
Hells yes.
I love when we talk IHOP.
I'm just going to let you know right now, IHOP rules. Yeah. But for those people who are busting their asses to get home to be exhausted and to be like...
to have what to show for it.
To have what to show for it.
To be in debt. To still be in debt. So when I said to Jim at the fair, what do people do? He said, they go into debt. He said, that's what people do. And I said, well, why is it so expensive? And he said, well, the price of diesel. They got to truck all this stuff in. They got to pay the workers, and the price to truck this stuff across the country and stop in every town that they're at costs a lot of money. So it's this whole system that we're caught in.
Yeah.
And that's why I opened up with media, big business, and the government.
Right.
They are in bed. They are in bed with each other. I hope I don't get a hit taken out on me after the show. But no, if I'm dead, guys,
you know what happens.
Next week, you know who to go after.
And for me, what's been stressing me out is the idea, again, we are searching to feel better. We're searching to feel good. And that is a known fact about us, especially now, our little egos, our egos as humans. We're easy to make money on, and we're easy to be put in a position where you're never really going to break out of your cycle. Because when you jump off for a minute, the thought of you're one mortgage payment away, if you jump out of that, and you're one mortgage payment away from losing all your shit or whatever, you're going to get that guaranteed salary every 2 weeks or whatever to get that paycheck. But meanwhile, we're so miserable then we're going to go spend anything we have left. We're not building anything for ourselves. Again, not everyone, not all of you.
It's totally a vicious cycle. You're 100% right. You're making money, but then you're spending it because you want to feel good. You're like, I work so hard. I deserve
either drinks. Let's think about even that. Obviously, it's a different. But are you kidding me? Every time I drink, it was to feel better. And how much money was in that? But it doesn't always have to be that. It could be the food,
anything, the pair of shoes, the this, the that. I want to go out to dinner because I deserve it because I worked hard. So, like, to save, it takes so much discipline,
so much,
and you want to live, right? Like, we want to live. We want to enjoy. Why are we going to just live? What, to work, come home, and put money in the bank? If we could even do that,
if you can even save. If you can even save. That's not something we learn in school. Why are we not learning that in school?
We're not learning a lot of stuff in school we need to be learning.
Right? Why are we not learning that, hey, it's actually better, you're going to feel better if you can save some money and don't spend all the time? And again, why? There's got to be,
Because the man is running the show. It's to keep the people on top.
Yep.
It's to keep that 1%, 2%, whatever that disparity is right now, to keep those people there, right? Then that speaks to all the isms, all the racism, the classism, the sexism, which I believe it all stems from classism. But it's all to keep a very, very small amount of people at the very top.
With the largest amount of money.
Certain people, they're multi-billionaires, right? Like billionaires out there that are on top of these insurance companies and these other companies, big business.
Pharmaceuticals.
And it's all turning into monopolies anyway, right?
What happened to healthcare?
And it is. Every company gets gobbled up and bought up by the bigger one. What happened to no monopolies? I don't even know what class I learned in economics in high school. Maybe they've changed things since
even
1998.
Grocery stores. There's only a few chains left.
I thought we weren't allowed to have monopolies. What happened?
Exactly. What
Did
happened?
they change that? Like, I don't understand these loopholes. So my only defense against all this stuff is what I'm calling the pocketbook revolution.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been talking about this to certain people for like the past 5 years.
Yeah.
A peaceful revolution. The only peaceful revolution that we can actually have in this country is to not spend our money on bullshit.
On stuff we're tossing out, on things we're throwing away. And I don't care who you are, like, it's okay, and yes, we're allowed. We should be able to have as much as we want or whatever. But you know what? Those same people, I know y'all believe in something quality. I know y'all still have an issue with a lot of people that are like, God, this is coming from overseas. Even like, I'll buy an American-made truck. I'm getting a Ford because it's made in America. Meanwhile,
all parts are made in China probably anyway, being shipped over here and put together, and you think it's in the USA.
It's because manufacturers and people making it, it makes it less expensive. Their profit margins are higher. And we're accustomed now. We're addicted. We're sick. We're down with the sickness of knowing we can have something for less money. And we've become accustomed to that.
And we're okay with it. And we're like, I'm just going to toss it away.
Dependent on it. Like the fact that it's like, I'll just go to Walmart. It's fine. Like there's a Walmart everywhere. I don't even care where you are. You could be in the middle of nowhere. There's a Walmart well, it's fine. Oh, it broke. It's fine. I'll go get another one. Well, just toss it out. It's so normal for us to just consume.
Yeah. So guess what? If we stop consuming as much, even like one thing, like say
give up your
today,
Starbucks.
Like Starbucks.
Oh my God, we're so cracked out on caffeine, myself included.
Yeah, and I wonder, like walking around with the Starbucks, is that really because you love the coffee, or is it because you feel important that you have a Starbucks in your hands? Because somehow it elevates you in society that I can have the Starbucks coffee. I bring a mug everywhere I go, and I bring my own coffee, or I bring a thermos with coffee. I bring my water bottle filled with water. I don't use plastic water bottles. And when we have plastic water bottles, we keep them. You got to see my drawer. I have plastic utensils, forks, and knives everywhere we go. We actually spoke to the smoke. I should be, you're probably wondering what I am smoking. Went to Smarkow the other day.
Is it on Wednesday?
It was.
When you could get as much as you want in a cup?
No, yeah, and I gave myself a little extra. What the hell?
Always. But guess what? There we are with the, oh my God.
With the
You're going to give me all the sugar that I could possibly ingest to get diabetes in 6 minutes for $5.
So we asked the guy, hey, what do you think about using metal spoons? Like, it's probably better for your bottom line. Right. He said he spends like $100 a month on plastic spoons, which he said in the grand scheme of things is not a lot of money. It's not. But he said, and I want to give Norm at Smart Cow in Castle Rock a shout out. He was like, I want to do my part. He's like, I'm going to talk to the other Smart Cow owners and see if maybe he's considering it. And I said, hey, you just need to get like a little dishwasher. You run it once a day. He's like, oh no. He goes, we have like a triple sink thing. We just put it in the soap and the water and that's it. Like, and I'm like, yeah, and get the kids that work there to do that. Like, why? Why are we throwing all this stuff away?
Oh my God. And
I don't get it, because somebody's in bed with the shipping companies and the plastic companies, and that we never used it.
Yeah.
We were fine before this.
We were totally fine before this. The other part is like, I really laugh a lot when we sit here and boy, do we have all this, and China, all our issues with China. Like, please give me a break. We feed off one another. And the fact that our massive corporations were
we put
making
everything over there. We're not going to do it here, not in my backyard.
No.
We're not going to do it here. We're not going to pollute our own soil. Meanwhile, we are in a million other ways.
Of course we are.
But we're going to make it look like we're being irresponsible by just making them do it over there.
And it's not even biodegradable at all. It's not going anywhere. It's in the oceans. There's piles of trash.
But we're such a great country that we care so
great.
much. We're so humanitarian. We love everybody, except, what's going on in China.
Exactly.
We are so in bed and so indebted to them that I bet, though, I do have to think that if we did throw the kibosh down on them, it would start World War III. So they're probably protecting us somehow. So this is kind of this vicious cycle that we're in. But yet, if you stop spending money, the demand will stop and they will be forced to find a new way.
Yes. I know a lot of people. I know that you buy secondhand, like clothing.
Not all of it. Like I said, I'm not like this
all the time
master that I figured this whole thing out. Like what I'm wearing right now. I mean, I've had this stuff for quite a while. I'm wearing my Dolly pants, by the way. Can we talk about my Dolly pants for a minute?
Oh, I had it earlier when I was like videotaping.
You got to go check out Ginny's Flippin' Phoenix page on YouTube. Is it set up yet?
Yeah, it's set up. I'm getting ready to get a video going, but I can also be found on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, Dolly Pants, their dog was amazing. She was from New Mexico, so I kind of love her. Her name's Dolly.
Dolly is so sweet, and she is
amazing.
Our nervous service animal is what we call her.
Amazing.
Because we got her to be a bit of a service animal for my husband, and turns out she's the one that needs the love and the care. We're taking care of her because she's very nervous, so we call her our nervous service animal. Dolly's amazing. Anyway, my kids made these pants for me for Christmas, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. And Jim had a shirt on that he's had for like many years, and the whole thing's ripping. Like you got to
made well.
And he likes to talk about the owner of IKEA and how he has so much money, this guy, but he does not ever buy anything new. And he drives like 30-year-old cars. And
really?
Yeah.
Really funny you mentioned that, because his company does more cutting down of trees than any single entity on the planet. Wow. Pretty much. Yeah.
Wow.
They are the largest source.
We're in the Amazon? Where do they?
A lot of it's in Eastern Europe. A lot of it is in a bunch of different places. They were breaking it all down with how many trees and how much logging gets done with the amount of, which, by the way, I own IKEA pieces, so I'm not trying to talk shit, but for real.
Yeah. Just bring a light to it.
Yeah. They're responsible for cutting down 1 tree every minute, I believe.
Wow. But it's mostly particle board that's made of wood?
Well, it's partially wood. It's not a solid wood piece, right? So you're able to get more bang for your buck, right? When you are mixing it with other materials to make something like particle board, there's parts of wood in there, but it's not. And I'm learning so much about this. That's not what I set out to do when I started the Flippin' Phoenix furniture rehab. I realized I absolutely love bringing new life to new furniture. It had nothing to do with because I was going to go try to save the world or even know much about what that industry does. It was more of rehabbing something, bringing it back, and really learning about the quality of a lot of these pieces that were made out of, by the way, solid wood 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
It used to be people would buy furniture. So you paid money for it. You paid heavy money for it, but it stayed in families and got passed down and got passed on. I started learning, and IKEA is one of the... I'm like, yeah, First Amendment. No, I don't know. It's a place. It rhymes with Schmeifia. You guys might have a bookcase from there and or a toy thing. Maybe you bought meatballs there.
Your college dorm room was...
It's a place. I don't want to just throw their name out so they're not all, hey, bitches, guess who we are.
No, I think we're allowed. I don't know.
We're allowed, right?
And if any of you owners out there that hear this, which I doubt anybody will, but if you do, take the episode down. Just don't sue us. We said that in the first episode.
I mean, come on. Seriously.
Come on. We're just like 2 chicks trying to do good out there. So,
yeah, trying to figure it all out.
Have a heart, man.
Yeah. Have a heart, Mr. Schmeifia. In your car that you won't buy a new car, but you'll cut down a million trees.
Exactly.
Okay, so I didn't bang anything new. However, they got caught in these scandals of illegally logging.
Wow.
That's how much cutting down of trees. And the thing is, it's great for all of us to go, oh, hey, I'd love a mid-century modern piece. I don't have the money to buy a real one, but let me find one that looks like it, that's made out of particle board from one of these stores. it's designed to break down. It's designed to break on you.
It's designed to break, so you have to go buy a new one, just like our stupid phones.
Exactly.
Right? The battery is designed to go so that you have to buy a new one.
You have to buy a
it's
new
the
one.
Mac. I mean, how expensive are these? We're recording on a Mac right now. How expensive are these stupid things?
So
you
expensive.
You gotta buy one every like few years because the battery bulges because it gets too hot. It's like...
Or the data, like, or whatever your
there's
system,
never enough
hardware.
space. They're always trying to get me to buy space, which I refuse to do. I just clean out my cloud. I clean out my whole thing. And this stuff takes time. It takes like a little extra effort, a little extra time. And this is what I'm trying to motivate you guys to do, is just to pick like one thing.
Just one.
One thing in your life that maybe you could say, you know what, I could live without that. And I'll save money, right? It's not like the Starbucks, the coffee, stuff like that. Like you can actually be saving money instead of dropping $6 a day on coffee.
Oh my God, it's crazy.
Or like, I refuse to do that. I want you to say to yourself, like, I refuse to do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to be true to myself. I'm going to stick to my boundaries.
Yeah.
And then that's going to increase your self-worth, right? This whole show, very often what it comes back to is trying to help you grow in your personal development and in your self-worth and your connection to yourself. By changing one behavior like that, you're going to feel so good about yourself, and you're going to stick it to the man, and that's going to feel really good too.
Well, exactly, as simple as it is. Well, someone made that comment the other day too, like, why are we just refuse to pay for things in cash anymore too? That, again, so accessible, so easy, but it's a lot harder to hand over $150 than it is to just type your card in.
Credit card
or Apple Pay.
You get the rewards.
And the app, or even just ding, it's the app. It's not as tangible of a feeling, but yet meanwhile, I don't have cash on me. I have like $1 somewhere, maybe some quarters maybe in my car. I don't have cash on me right now.
And then how much you paid in interest every month if you can't pay it off every month, which most of the country or the world does not pay their credit card bill off every month.
And again, why? Because, you know, and I have tons of friends, and I've been in this spot too, where it's like they don't own a home, but like they've got 3 PS5s in their house, and they've got all the things, and everyone's got brand new phones, and everyone's got new cars that they're, you know, leasing and or whatever. But it's like they're barely making it, quote unquote, because somehow we are convinced we need these things
to feel good about ourselves.
To feel good about ourselves, and that
make you worthy and make you valuable. If I could walk around with the bag, or I could walk around with the new phone, or
whatever.
People, that's not what it's about. It's not what it's about. Like, you are good, and you are lovable, and you are worthy, and you are valuable just for existing. You do not need that stuff to shore up your value. You don't.
And it's like, I guess in my mind, I'm like, how do we undo that shit? Because it's so ingrained and prevalent. Anybody out there, if you have a child between the ages of, I don't know, 5 and 12, have you heard them begging for you to buy them Prime? The Prime drink? Have you?
No,
probably not.
No.
That's good.
I got to say, though, my kids are pretty sheltered.
That's
for good or for bad.
so
my kids aren't on
good.
social media. They're not on screens. They use their iPods just for music. And they ask me every single time they pick up that iPod, Mom, can I go on my iPod for the timer? Or can I go on to play a song?
Like, it's amazing. So they don't have iPads.
No.
Good for you guys. We don't have phones. We're not doing that, but we've got iPads. And we held out on a while for those, and it didn't matter that we held out, because once they had them, there it is. One of the people that's on one of the social media things came up with a drink, and it's Prime is the brand. But these kids are like, this little girl walks up, Mom, can you give me $5? And she's like, why? Well, no, the kid down the street's going to sell me the latest flavor of Prime. And I'm like, what the frick is Prime? And sure enough, I asked my kids, they're like, oh yeah, there's a big YouTuber who I remember. Yeah, Prime.
What's even in it? It's probably
like a
hydration.
Oh, probably. But it's like a hydration, supposed to be like that kind of drink.
I hope it's good.
And listen, I don't know.
I'm sorry. We're sounding like so doom and gloom here. Like, this is like, I hope you don't shut this down and want to go like, I don't know, go buy a Starbucks or something. But
I kind of do. Vanilla bean powder sounds amazing right now. No, but it's
there is a lot of good in the world. I want to say there are a lot of people out there doing really good stuff. They're fighting for things. They're doing good stuff. They're in Congress. They're trying so hard. Thank you. Please keep it up. You are warriors, and we need you.
Yeah, we do.
Please.
If we can just figure out how to help each other start healing through these traumas that we have, the pain,
that's what it comes down to.
What it comes down to. We got to help each other. Yes, filling the void, you guys.
And the convenience of it all. It's so easy to fill the void.
Yeah, temporarily.
It's temporary. And then it fades. So I heard this was interesting. So thinking about like your package coming, or thinking about going to get the Starbucks, thinking about planning the trip, thinking of whatever it is, you get more dopamine released in the anticipation than you do with the actual event, which is why you need to keep going back to the well and re-upping and seeking more and more and more and more. That's why it's never enough. Because your dopamine that's released is less at the event and then, of course, less after.
Right.
So you're on this constant high and low. And you're chasing. It's an addiction.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate addiction in this country, in this probably world, is this addiction to dopamine, which is then forcing all these other ugly things to rear their heads, other behaviors.
Yeah. Other behaviors that we're just unconsciously, we're in it, we're a part of it, and we're not even 100% aware.
We're not even aware. It is so insidious.
Not even aware. It happens with fashion. It happens with furniture. And again, I just happen to know a bit about the furniture because of the venture that I'm on and realizing, you know, not even just the logging and all that, but again, if searching for a feeling of like, cool, I've got this new table. But part of those things are also held together with enamels and glues and things like that I'm learning.
Are probably terrible to breathe in.
They are. And as they sit in your house and the temperature changes and all those, yes, they put gas up and they're all cancer causing. Again, not doom and gloom. We're not trying to be that.
We're just trying to bring awareness to all of this because it is so insidious and it is built in, so ingrained. It's just a part of our life.
There's other ways, right? Our hardware, our DNA, our bodies are still meant to connect with each other. Like you said, it sounds so revolutionary, but like, what if we decide consciously to be like, you know what? Let's sit and have a conversation with the neighbor or a friend, find a way to connect because we get dopamine from those things too.
Yes.
So what if we got back to trying really hard to find some of those ways to connect to each other? Like right now, you guys being here with us right
You're
now.
getting dopamine for listening to us. Hopefully you're feeling connected to us. Hopefully
After
you haven't shut us off yet.
They're all, thanks, bitches. I've heard enough about the world ending. You ruined my day. Hey, it's Lionsgate portal today.
Happy Lionsgate. Happy 8/8. Everybody, 8/8. It's a good day. That rolls right into the challenge, Ginny. Thank you.
Yes.
So, yeah, I had written a part in my book all about this, all about dopamine connection, not about consumerism. It was just about
dopamine,
how connection releases dopamine and other chemicals.
In our DNA for like generations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I talked about it in the way of like social media. And instead of going back to the empty well that you're constantly trying to feel that connection. That's why we keep going back. We're trying to get that feel-good chemical that comes from seeing something or reading something that we connect with, that we feel just, it hits us. It resonates on some level, and then we get that chemical release. So one of the challenges today is ask yourself if you're okay with how you're living. If you are, great. Listen, we're not here to shame anybody.
No.
We're not trying to guilt anybody.
No.
We're not trying to say that what you're doing is wrong. But I believe if we're feeling this way, we believe a lot of you out there are feeling this way. You're just feeling powerless over it. So it's like, hey, can't beat them, join them. No, please don't join them. We're trying to motivate you to not join them. By the way, I'm going to write a book and debunk a whole bunch of these stupid phrases. If you can't beat them, join them. The devil you know is better than the devil you're going to get. Like all these really self-defeating
There's a lot of them
phrases.
too.
There's a lot of them. So anyway, if you can become aware and make one change and want to shift, then practice the following suggestions. So this all comes down to self-control and discipline.
Yeah.
Discipline. I don't know if you guys know David Goggins. Do you know David Goggins?
Why do I feel like I know the name?
David Goggins is like
Is he a motivational guy?
He's like the king of discipline. He's ran like 100-mile race with like bloody feet. He's got
that mindset.
Yeah, and he came from a hard life, and he has that mindset of you just do it. He's like the epitome of just do it. Like you just do it. There's there's no giving up, like ever, right?
Don't get in your head about it. Just you do it.
He could probably benefit from a little bit more self-compassion. He could probably give himself a break out there. Mr. Goggins, if you ever hear this, please go a little easy on yourself, bro. It's like you're awesome and your message is so awesome, but you can relax. Like, go take a bath.
Something.
Like you're allowed to like, just like, I don't know, give yourself a little loving. But in this respect, you have to discipline yourself if you want to make these changes. You have to become aware when your brain is being sucked back to Amazon because you had a bad day. You're like, oh yeah, I wanted the shoes I saw last week. I'm going to go on Amazon and buy them. And say, no, I'm not going to.
Or I'm going to go let the sun hit my face, or I'm going to go have a conversation with somebody that matters.
I'm going to go seek the dopamine in a different way.
Because that's exactly what we're searching for.
So nature, the mountains, the forest, the ocean, huge. Resets your nervous system. It calms you.
Just go look at the sky. Because everyone's got a sky, and not everyone's got an ocean, but everybody's got a sky.
Everyone's got a sky.
Everybody's got a sky.
I love that.
Yeah, and the clouds alone are enough to sit there and you're like, what?
Tap into something greater than you. Tap into
Yes.
something really purposeful and meaningful and seek that connection to whatever you think is out there, right? Just the earth. Go walk barefoot. Go ground yourself in the
Or read a book.
grass.
Read a physical book.
Yeah.
Turn the pages. Oh, I know a book you should read. I know this one chick. She wrote a book. Her name's Amanda. She has a book. It's called Trust Yourself to Be All In. You can pick that book up. But yeah, turn the pages, fill the paper in your
And
hand.
I was selling it on Amazon. So I went through this whole thing. Let me tell you guys about that super quick. I went through this whole debate within myself, this inner conflict.
Dude, you were a bestseller on Amazon.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, don't let her play that shit down because I was pumped. I was like, what's up? I know her. She's on the top 10 list with Brene Brown. Wasn't Brene Brown on the same list?
I was on the same screen as her for a minute. So I was number 5. She was number 1. And I was
love it.
number 5.
Anyway, please continue.
Same screen as Brene Brown.
I digress. Please go.
Went into this whole inner turmoil of how am I trying to make the world better and change things on whatever small level I can that I believe ripples out, and then still feed into the machine, still feed the beast.
With having your stuff on Amazon.
And somebody said to me, well, look at Michael Moore, who did his documentary about corporate America on Netflix. That is the vehicle to get the message out.
Yeah.
So I had to say to myself, is it more important for me to dig my heels in and to be righteous and to say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
To sacrifice the message, to sacrifice the healing. Am I keeping the healing out of people's hands who really need it because everybody's shopping on Amazon?
That's right.
So for now, hopefully, it's not going to be like this forever. That is the vehicle to get the healing message into people's hands. So that's why I had to do it.
It's like fortunately, unfortunately, right? It's the main source of how we get everything. That's how so many people are connecting to the things that they're spending their money on. Like you said, you had to have
that was like a necessary evil.
Yes.
I had to make that decision and humble myself really is what I had to do. And not say, you know what, I'm going to fight the system. And be I'm not going to do that. Really, I'm just going to wind up hurting
somebody
myself
who could get the message.
And everybody else, who might need that message. And so it was for a greater, I kind of sacrificed my values in that moment for what I feel is for the greater good.
Right.
And sometimes that has to happen.
Yeah, I was laughing. We're watching Hulu the other night. And in one commercial break, 3 of the 4 commercials, all medication.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started on the pharmaceutical industry.
It's a whole other thing. But again, guys, remember, we're all searching it, and we were talking about the challenges. This is a pretty passionate subject for us, as Amanda and myself, for some very similar reasons and some different. And remembering, you guys, don't be fooled. The fact that they know we don't, and I say they, oh God, who is that? But
it's the media conglomerates, it's the big business owners, and it's the government.
Correct.
That's who it is.
That's who it is. They know we don't feel good. We walk around and we're all comparing ourselves and all the things. There's a lot of money being made off of us not feeling good and us having ways. There are ways, you guys, we can get back to connecting and get back to remembering our divinity and how cool we are and how much we can learn from each other, that we're not so stuck in this thing of I've got to keep spending every dime I have and living in that fight or flight. Because it's what's coming and what about the economy? And oh my God. Yeah. Because none of us, not none, many of us, we're not saving money. We're working our asses off, a lot of us in jobs we don't love, just to be making enough money to just get by, to still feel stressed out all the time.
Yeah, so when you're faced with that decision of oh man, I got to get this thing or else I'm going to be left behind, or I got to check the news every hour to see what's going on. So now remind yourself that feeling is a lie perpetrated by the man. That's it. It's a big lie. You do not need that stuff to get these dopamine hits. It would be awesome if we didn't need the dopamine hits, but we're pretty addicted to it at this point.
Well, and we need them in general, right? By the way, it's a proven fact. Go outside. The sun, it will give you some dopamine.
I guess that's why I'm addicted to it.
Yes.
I do a lot of good stuff in life, but my sunbathing addiction is definitely masochistic. So again, guys, I'm not ever trying to sit here from some kind of I know better, because I definitely have my stuff.
Trying to figure our shit out, with no doubt.
So, and having this conversation is going to make me mindful today. It's going to make me more mindful. So
Me too.
It's a reminder. So yeah, we can get that connection elsewhere. Another suggestion, can you go with less? Right?
Can you go with less? Can you go with less and exchange that maybe for some time or some presence? Maybe that money got saved and it's sitting in the bank instead of you wondering, I'm definitely going to have to like go back to a 40 an hour a week job that I can't stand because I got to make sure that we've got the stability. But meanwhile, it's like, oh, but we're paying for all the streaming services and all the things.
If you sit down and write out what you, or keep track of in a day what you spend money on.
Freaking blow your mind.
So this isn't just about like being a do-gooder. This is also for your wallet.
Yeah.
You are going to be saving money
and your
instead
stability.
Of giving it away to people who really don't have your best interest at heart and probably really want to harm you. Like,
and
let's be honest here.
All, they don't want you to be in a position where you feel safe enough with enough money or power.
They don't want you to feel the power.
They don't want you to feel like you have that power. They don't want you saving your money.
No.
And in fact, it's like, yes.
Going into their pocket.
Yep.
This is like a big thing in terms of like media in bed with big business, in bed with government, all that kind of stuff, and how they don't have our best interest at heart. I learned in social work school that Monsanto, the leading chemical creators in our food, chemical pushers, disease makers, and everything else, they... I don't know if they still do. Granted, this was over 10 years ago I learned this. But I'm not sure that they've added something into the law that you can't do this. So maybe it's still like this. And I'm sure it's like this with other companies too. The executives of Monsanto would go back and forth between working for Monsanto and then in the government. And then Monsanto.
Are you serious?
Yep. And then for the government.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you at all.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's not conspiracy theory shit, right? That's like...
No, that was like at Stony Brook University, like a leading university in New York, and my master's program for my social work degree. Like,
wow.
People could say, oh, you know, the colleges are filling these kids' heads with all this bad liberal stuff.
Super liberal shit.
It wasn't just a teacher telling me this. We watched a documentary, movie, whatever. I mean, why do you think the government is operating the way it's operating?
Exactly.
Yes, it's getting paid lobbyists, all that stuff, but it's all an inside job, people. And I'm not a conspiracy person.
Yeah, neither am I. And in fact, I used to always be like, oh, that's so crazy. And then I'm all, oh, geez.
And think about what's an old fact, like hundreds, if not thousands, I don't even know how many, of chemicals that are not allowed in the EU, but are allowed here. What is that?
We have friends from Europe, but we have friends who've grown up in Poland and grown up in Slovakia and other places that talk about how when they go there, like their food allergies or their digestion is fine.
Yes.
I knew somebody who lost a bunch of weight. This girl was like, I was ready to go and I knew I was going to eat. So she was thinking she was going to gain a bunch of weight. Italy, like, says she would be eating pizza and gelato and other things, which she did. And I would be having heavy cream in my coffee. She's like, because I wasn't screwing around. I was going to go. It went in Rome, literally. Yes. So this chick was there 3 weeks or something, and she lost like 15 pounds. And she's like, I swear to you, I'm convinced. And she has a lot of inflammation, like digestive issues.
The inflammation, that's what it's all about. That's why I'm vegan. That didn't start out as like this climate or change the world thing like that. That came later when I learned a lot about the agricultural industry. Yeah. But it's to keep inflammation down, which is the root of all disease. So all this
including
crap
cancer.
That's in our, cancer, autoimmune disease. Yeah. Which so many women have a form of. I'm trying to keep my autoimmune disease away, which runs in my family. So I'm doing an experiment. So I'll let you know in about 20 years if the veganism worked. But
how that worked out. And it's coming the places like the Walmarts and everywhere else. Is like, okay, if you want to be able to eat, because trying to eat organic, it's expensive.
And that in and of itself, I get so mad about that.
Somebody made a point the other day too. They're like, you don't think it's odd that you walk in and everyone's all, woo-woo, convenience. Your watermelon is seedless. Like, it's so great. There's no seeds to spit up. Well, guess what? The seed is where all the nutrients are.
Yeah, and everything is in plastic. Have you guys seen the potatoes wrapped in plastic? Yeah. What the hell is that? Right. Everything is in plastic.
$4. And the plastic. And get the seeds.
We were told when we were kids we couldn't eat them.
You're supposed to eat them. That's where all the nutrients are. Yep. But this is what the other thing that sounded a little conspiracy theory, but made sense. I don't want you having seeds. I don't want you growing your own shit.
Yeah.
So you look at how many fruits and vegetables, well, not vegetables so much as fruits, are seedless now. That's what makes it a fruit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeds?
Yeah.
You're not getting the heart of what makes it so good for you.
And I keep forgetting what I was going to say. It's in a lot today. I'm very excited about this show.
I'm telling you, me too. We're even going way over. We'll probably edit a bunch of it, but we came in kind of fiery today. And I was gonna say
Or like lions.
or
Lions. Miss Roar.
It
You
is
still listening,
Miss Roar. I love her. She's so amazing. We've got real problems with depression and anxiety, in particularly in our children.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about, the kids.
Oh, boom. Nice. There you go.
So, okay, so
Do it.
we're going to totally hold
Yeah.
that. Get back to that. That's
I knew
also,
how to get you back. Did you see that?
Yeah, see, that's how Ginny and I work. That's why this works. That's why
yes,
this works. We just
why it works.
naturally go off each other. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the whole thing was like, well, I can't not go in because of my kids. I can't not buy the tickets because of my kids. They don't want to go on just one ride. They want to go on 3 rides.
Because they
how am I
have
going
to
say no?
feel good. You want them to feel
Yeah,
good.
and I want them to feel good. And then I feel bad if I say no. Another way to kind of get around that, right? Them wanting the little stupid plastic figurine at the dollar store or whatever it is. Instill in them that they don't need that stuff to feel
good. It's so
and that a
important.
little bit of compromise and a little bit of sacrifice is character building. To say, you know what, do you want to go on 3 rides? We did let them go on 3, so I'm kind of like bushing here right now. But I should have said, I didn't think of it at the time because I was feeling guilty for being upset about the $40 to get in. So I was like, all right, now I feel bad that I made them feel bad, so now they can go on 3 rides. Anyway, what I should have done was, you can go on 2. Like, bring it down a notch.
Pick them well. Like,
Get
make sure they
creative.
count. Yeah.
Get creative with the compromise. And you're teaching your children, right? I believe the children are beautiful. We have a responsibility and a duty to not allow these kids to have every single thing that they want and every minute of the day. So if we can limit some of that, it's going to help the earth. It's going to make you feel like you're staying true to your values, and it's going to build character in your child. Boom, boom, boom.
All 3. And I, right now, this instant, have to send a massive shout out to my husband, Tom Smith. We literally have kids come over that are like, I don't know if I could hang out here. I don't have the Asian powers. And we're all, what?
Asian powers.
Tom's mom is from Taiwan and add the value of things. He would tell me these stories about how she'd be like, what? You're not going to school? Like, I had to sit under a tree to go to school. You know? He's so good. A lot of people would be like, golly, he's kind of hard on your kids in that sense. Because he'll be like, no. He is so good.
He's very disciplined. Your husband's extremely disciplined.
He's very disciplined. And he's really good as a teacher and an educator and somebody who works with kids in special education too, that structure. But there are times when they'll be like, well, Dad, but can't we get the... And he's all, no. We're not spending $40 on that because it's so much like how you guys didn't want to make your kids feel bad. So I'm just like, listen, okay?
Also,
do you know how many groceries we could buy?
Yeah.
With that nonsense you're going to throw away.
You actually are allowed to say no to your children.
And when they get like, but they're like sad about it, he's like, they're going to get past it. And sure enough, they're valuing certain things. And I've seen it happen right in front of me. We just had neighbors yesterday. Our kids hung out and I went to go pick Steele up. And the parents, they're good friends. They were like, man, they're like, Steele is such a good kid. And I'm like, what happened? Like, what? That's okay. What happened?
It is your job to teach your children these values and these morals and to be a responsible human being that can take care of themselves and to be self-sufficient and independent. It is not your job to make your kid like you necessarily or to make yourself feel better about yourself by allowing your children
to have
everything they want so that you can feel like a good parent.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation.
It is.
But it all comes down to the entitlement and them having everything that they want all the time.
Well, and because we live, again, all the way circling back to the fact that we so much in our culture living here, that we are gaining so much of our value of joy off of the things we get immediately right now. And our kids are learning that now more than ever. So yes, circling back to that, like you guys, how? Because they're also the most depressed.
Yes.
The suicide rates of our kids is insane.
We're not helping them. We are not helping them by giving them everything they want. So we have in our house, we call it the Bank of Flanagan. Have I told you guys about the Bank of Flanagan yet?
This household, by the way, you guys, is the best shit ever. They have things that I'm all, what was that? Like, reflection of gratitude. I freaking love Jim. Like, really. But yes, please. The Flanagan,
we're going to get him on here, too. We're going to do a whole episode around PTSD, and we're going to get, hopefully, his hypnotherapist on here to explain this massive shift that happened. But
yes.
So the Bank of Flanagan is our kids get money every week for doing chores.
Nice.
They have to do their chores or they don't get their money. The Bank of Flanagan pays interest.
Really?
Pay interest, yes, every month. Jim sits down and calculates the interest.
So if they save it, they're going to make more.
They save it. We don't give them $5. Brilliant. We don't give them cash. We keep a roster or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
an accounting of their money. And when we're out at a store and I say, well, you want 2 pairs of shoes, but this just happened. You want 2 pairs of shoes, but I'm only willing to buy you 1 because you only need 1. You don't need both pairs of shoes. And my little Shelby was like, well, how about if I use we call pocket money. How about if I use my pocket money? I said, okay. So I buy her the shoes, the second pair, come home, and I take a mark. I take $45 off of her accounting. And I don't know when we're going to give it to them at some point, but we're teaching them the value of $1 and that when they are actually spending money on something, it's going to be meaningful to them.
Yeah, or the fact that it'll build for them if they save it. It's smart. It's so smart.
It's teaching them a lot of what you can,
I love that.
What you can buy at some point. They have like a few $1,000s in there.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was not just from us. It's from family and gifts,
but
and
they're
like everything goes in.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I do have to convince my Lila to spend her money, actually. Yeah, she doesn't want to spend her money.
Really?
And yeah, I think that's also like a generational thing that she's going to have to work on because Jim, and he's got his own financial security stuff that goes on that he's much, much better with now, but feel like it's part of her like DNA, this whole...
It's in there. Well, because it wasn't like Jim grew up with the Rockefellers, right?
No, he was the youngest of 5 kids.
Okay.
He slept with a hot water bottle very often in the winter.
That's in her DNA.
There was 8 people eating out of 1 casserole dish. He didn't...
Wow.
He was often hungry. He'd go to bed hungry.
Wow. That's why he's got that ability to like... Yeah.
So he knows what it's like to value money. And so that's why he's teaching them the value of money.
He's the best.
So that's just one example of how you could pass this information on to your kids, because I know I often feel like, oh no, I want them to have that. But like, do I want them to have it just because they want it, or because, oh, look at what a great mom I am because I'm buying them that stuff? There's like a bunch of different layers to this. So,
and they're not little things anymore, by the way. Do you know how much of a battle it is? And you guys are doing freaking amazing, by the way, with this, but it's like the battle on the cell phone thing. My kids, and it's not to bash anybody, you guys, because I understand we have school shootings every day. I know why parents want to send their kids to school with the phone. Yeah. But like, we literally, my 8-year-old, like every week is negotiating about or telling me I'm one of the only kids in my class without a phone. I'm like, yeah, and that shit's happening for a while because you guys aren't getting phones. But that's, again, part of our culture.
We're hoping to hold out till 13.
That's, yes.
Ideally, I would like 15, but I don't think I'm going to get away with that.
Tom keeps telling me, all when you get a job.
When you get a job.
And if anybody was going to hold true to that, it would be my husband.
Yes. And I'm sure they will be getting jobs, just like our kids. I'm going to try and have them have a job at 14.
Yeah.
If that's still the working age. I got my first job at 14.
So did I. I was bagging groceries.
I was working on help.
Oh, yeah.
I was wearing my cute little blue dress.
Hey, guys. Welcome to And you could probably still smoke cigarettes. Do you want smoking or not smoking?
Yeah.
No, you're not that old.
Yeah. And then I was
could still.
a waitress, and I was in that smoking section a lot.
Everybody should do that. I'm... like, honestly, there are some days where I'm like, hey, we should just stop all of life and do a podcast all of life.
You could probably sit here for another 8 hours talking to you guys. Because this is something that there's so many sides to this topic, and we feel so passionate about it. But like, so I'm sorry, we totally digress like off the challenge stuff, but like, also try and just switch one thing out, like secondhand, right? Try to say, okay, I need a new shirt. Let me just go see what's at the store. There are some really good consignment shops out there that only sell high-end, nice brand stuff.
That you're going to pay the same price you might pay at Walmart.
You're going to pay.
Maybe not Goodwill, but like Walmart. Like
and things are getting more expensive even at Walmart, Target, and Kohl's. I mean, I feel like I always looked at Kohl's as like a cheaper place. Kohl's is expensive.
It's expensive. Unless you're using your Kohl's Cash, which you've got 37 seconds to use your Kohl's Cash. And the moon has to be full, and it's got to be a Tuesday. So stay on it. Because guess what? You've got $900 in Kohl's Cash. You've got to use it at 1:11 in the morning.
So yes, at least try. Make the effort, please. Just like make the effort. Your soul will thank you. Your spirit will thank you.
Yes.
It will smile and it will say, oh my gosh, thank you. Like you are honoring the earth. Mother Earth is going to just give you a big hug.
That you are still connected to, as much as we want to pretend that, you know, we're the top of the food chain. The earth itself is the top of the food chain. The earth swallows us right now with storms and hurricanes.
It's crazy.
If your beliefs are really big about how much you love America, you guys, go buy something made in America. Buy something made here. Buy something. Or even, for instance, Amanda was talking about ways and opportunities. Again, I've started a business upcycling furniture, and many of the pieces I get are so solid.
Can you tell us more?
I will tell you a little bit because I don't want to keep everyone here all day. I'll
edit this shit. Don't worry. You're good.
It's fine. We're good, you guys.
I'm gonna do my sorcery. Is that what you called
Your
it once?
sorcery.
My
It is
editing
sorcery.
sorcery.
She's got her editing sorcery. I'm like, oh, you cut out that 27 minutes of me talking about nothing. Good job. I'm like, that's awesome, Amanda. But
I do it for the cause, Ginny.
I
I'm like, every
know.
time I delete
Thank
stuff,
you.
I'm like, oh, I don't want to.
Thank you.
She's gonna get upset. And I'm like, no, it's
You're
for the
like,
greater cause. She'll get,
yeah.
she'll understand
And
when she
then-
hears it.
it's okay.
Well,
So
tell us why you're so passionate about this.
well, I already I'm super passionate about it just out the gate. I had no idea that it would be as therapeutic as it is for me. And for most furniture people I've started to meet, furniture flippers, furniture artists, like we're all very similar in this. If that's your thing, it is very therapeutic to be able to take something that is left for gone and no worth, knowing that it literally has some of the strongest material underneath that top exterior. There's something built really well. If it was made in the 60s or 70s or 80s even, some of that, the finish looks dated and crappy. Right underneath there is solid wood.
I just got rid of my childhood high boy, right? Is that what they're called? The tall ones, the high boy?
Yes.
I had it in Lila's room. I had that thing for 35 years. I just got rid of it
And
like 6
probably
months ago.
Still worked.
And it like broke my heart. But yes, the bottom drawer was like falling out, but it could have been fixed.
It could have been fixed. And that's the thing. First off, with furniture, just as an example, it's like 12.2 billion tons, you guys, that we're putting in the landfills. And a lot of them are pieces that can be redone. So that's one way. The furniture industry right now, oh my gosh, the margins are insane. Furniture is insanely marked up. But you're getting crap. A lot of it is this particle board. When there's furniture artists like me, I'm in Colorado. I'm here, but man.
In Castle Rock.
In Castle Rock. But I follow.
She will deliver.
Yes, I will. And I can ship anywhere in the country. P.S. So
Do you have your Etsy store?
I have that live. Yeah, there's only like 1 or 2 pieces in there now, but I'm working to get that going. So I can ship to you anywhere within the United States. Please keep that in mind.
So if you're not willing to sacrifice in any other way, maybe you're gonna help. You're gonna bring a new piece back to life.
You're gonna bring it,
birthing,
and it's like built very well, and the wood grain on a lot of these pieces is stunning. You're not jumping back into the let's produce and cut more trees down and do whatever to get this piece of furniture. I can take something that was made in America, that was built really well with craftsmanship, that's solid wood. And there's people like me out here who are passionate about bringing them back to life. And you could pay for that piece what you might pay over at whatever warehouse where you're buying some particle board stuff that is coming all from overseas, by the way, and feel good about the fact that it is probably going to outlive us all, this piece of furniture. You can have it designed in a way, and people like me, people that are way better than me at this, that have done it longer all over the country and in Canada that I follow and learn from, can take these pieces and finish them and customize it to your house. I just did it for some neighbors, some older. I've noticed this generation of like baby boomers. They're like, wait a minute. They're like, we were going to toss out our oak dining set because we got this new modern gray color scheme of flooring, and the yellow oak just looks like trash. But we went to go look for a new set. It was going to be $7,000, and it was crap.
Exactly.
And I'm like,
just because it's priced more doesn't mean it's better.
Doesn't mean, right. And he's like, then we went to Woodley's, and like it was going to be 10 grand if we wanted a dining set. I took their dining set. It was oak. It was beautiful. It was stunning. And I took everything down and sanded it down, that solid, beautiful piece of furniture with everything that it came with. And we put it in a dark walnut, amazing finish. We painted the bottom, everything modernized. They paid a fraction of the price and got to keep their beautifully well-made piece of furniture.
And then where does some of that money go to? You roll it into?
Yes. It keeps blowing my mind that I'm in a position or in this stream of things where I'm a little bridge of people who are needing to get rid of furniture, because that happens all the time, and moving it is always kind of a pain for people. And then people who need furniture. And I'm this middle range of like, oh, I love taking a beat up piece of furniture and making it usable. Like, this is great. I'm a weirdo, but great, right?
Best weirdo out there.
I'm trying. I've been at points in my life where things didn't feel totally secure. Furniture is so grounding. I don't know. When you're in a place where you can buy or you get a new to you piece of furniture that's solid, there's this message that you're like, I'm safe. I'm good. I have a place to put my clothes. I'm doing all right. Like, I could sit at this nice kitchen table or whatever it is. I really wanted to get involved in helping people that are down on their luck and in bad spots, and that could use that little extra help of having something stable in their home. So currently I'm working with an organization called Gateway, and it's a domestic violence shelter and services. So people who have left very bad situations, had the courage to finally up and leave, they go and they get within the system and they give them shelter, while they're trying to get on their feet. they get approved for housing. And so anytime you're buying anything from me, you guys, which again, go to the website, I can ship anywhere in the country, 10% of that goes towards paying for the materials for me to refinish a piece for one of these families that's starting from scratch, who left probably in the middle of the night with bruises still on their body.
I want to give a shout out to you warrior women. You touch my heart. You are amazing.
Time.
You
yes,
are
that
amazingly
courage.
brave and strong, courageous. Wow.
Yeah. There are some men leaving situations too,
And men.
but mainly, yeah. But I mean, the stories I've gotten to hear, what it takes for you guys to get out of these abusive situations, it's mind-blowing. And which is why I think it feeds me so much to be able to take a kitchen table, maybe that was getting tossed out by somebody that's solid wood, and help somebody who's had the courage to finally start over with nothing, by the way, and have been told their whole existence they're never going to be able to make it without this person or this abuser. And they've had the courage to take their kids and get out of there, to provide them with a new kitchen table that's new to them, where their kids can sit with them and have dinner, or they can do homework, or they can vote, or they can do all these things that we do at kitchen tables.
We're bringing people from such a feeling of loss, despair, hopelessness to a feeling of home and
Right.
security
Yes.
and constancy.
Yes.
That you're not just making them a piece of furniture, you're shifting their emotional nature to such a degree
Hoping
where
to.
they finally feel safe.
That's the hope. Yes, you've nailed it on the head. I've never felt more like I'm living with some purpose than I do right now. It also comes with really challenging things, like, again, not having that consistent paycheck that I was in of every 2 weeks. But I believe so much for so many reasons in what I'm doing. And yeah, the biggest part, I'm just a bridge. I'm the conduit, but there's pieces of furniture that are ending up in landfills. There's trees getting cut down to do. I'm a middle person of being able to bring them new life, and also by you choosing. And again, there's a way to make a conscious choice. You're going to buy a piece of furniture. It doesn't have to be from me, but I mean, if you're thinking about buying it from a furniture artist or someone who's breathing new life into it, if it happens to be me, you're not just buying yourself a dresser, you're actually buying somebody else a piece of furniture too that really needs it.
Talk about connection to self and to others. That's it. In a nutshell, you are living proof of living this way is possible.
Right. We'll definitely try. Listen, it's a fight. It's a fight every day, but we're getting there. And
Yeah,
things
you're
are
going to get
moving
there.
and-
It's not easy starting a new business.
No. And that's a whole other thing. We'll get into all
We'll get
those
into that
things
next time.
one day too, of just, again, breaking out of what we've been constantly told that it's the way it's got to be. It's not super easy, but I'm so grateful to my husband for having faith and support of me jumping out of that constant flow coming in to let me do something that's very much outside the box. But
It's risky. You're taking a risk.
big risk, but I believe in it. And again, I want to help people find things they believe in and help them find things of feeling good about how we're spending our time, right? Those are two of the most important things we spend is our time and our money.
And the last challenge I was just checking out here on my notes that I wanted to bring up was this. It says, be willing to stand alone and look like the odd man out.
That is such a good call.
And that speaks exactly what you're doing with your business. There are people that are telling you, oh, you're crazy. How can you do that?
How
you
can
just
you
left
do
this lucrative job. You're doing, but you're being true to yourself and you're willing to stand alone and do the difficult thing and take the risk and make the change and do all of that. So for you guys out there, if you're going to take any of what we talked about today and implement it into your life, be willing to be that one to stand alone, to say, you know what, I don't have to just go along with the herd and go to this store because that's where everybody goes, or shop there because that's where everybody shops, or use that straw because everybody uses that straw, or whatever it might be, big or little. Be willing to be that odd man out, because guess what? You're going to be a leader and other people are going to follow you.
Yeah.
And we have a duty and obligation right now. It is crucial. We are at a crossroads in humanity. We need the leaders. We need the people to be standing up and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this
Through action.
through action. And exactly. And whether these people agree with it or not, like when I left my job in Manhattan, I had a very good job. 28 years old I was when I left. I was making a pretty good salary. I was in Manhattan doing marketing for a high-end luxury real estate sales and marketing firm. Yeah, I could have just really done really, really well. But I said, no, I actually am not feeling this and it doesn't jive with my spirit and I'm leaving and I'm going to go to social work school. And I had no idea where any of that was leading.
How many people looked at you like, what are you doing?
My parents were not happy about it. They were not happy.
And scared for you.
Yeah, they were scared
Can
for
I
me.
tell you how many people are scared for...
They're not trying to
for us
squash
right
my
now.
spirit. They're trying to be
scared.
logical and say, how could you walk away from that?
Because the money, I'm not saying, oh, yeah, none of us need to work. It's not even that. It's not that. It's just more the idea of how much we are convinced we need. That we
can get by with a lot less and we wouldn't need to hustle so hard.
It's also getting to the point, though, of realizing the level of health benefits I've had from not being in the crazy rat race, the ability to be present for my kids when they're having breakdowns about certain things because I haven't spent every bit of my energy because I've been in the commute to Denver and because I'm playing the sales game of like fighting with my colleagues and coworkers about percentages. I've lost almost 30 pounds. I've been out in the sun. Everyone's like, dude, did you go to an island? I was in my driveway. I was painting things.
Yeah.
But
once you align that, you're aligning your true self with your soul and your spirit and the universe. And I fully believe that when your motives are pure and good, things are going to fall into place. They already are. Ginny just told me a story the other day. Yeah, somebody randomly called her up and offered her this job where she could pull in some money. Like, it's happening. It's happening. You just have to stay the course, be disciplined, have the self-control.
Yeah.
Don't buy as much. Yeah. You know, like,
and I got to remind myself of this because here's the deal. If it really matters to me and I want to continue on this path that I'm on, I can't continue to spend the way that it felt normal to spend. We can't. We can't do it.
You have to make sacrifice. This life is about sacrifice.
And is me being able to be present worth that? Abso-freaking-lutely.
I'm so proud of you. And everybody out there, I am so proud of you guys for hanging in and listening because sometimes hearing this stuff and reflecting on how we live, myself too, I feel a little like, oh, like I could be doing so much better. And I know this might be an uncomfortable conversation for you out there, the listener, to say, wow, how am I living? Maybe I don't have to do that.
Because some of it's not like, oh, I'm so bad, I'm doing this, you guys. For me, anyway, the value that I found in like all of a sudden feeling more like my nervous system calm down, find another source of that, a healthy source. And remembering that dopamine and that we're running for it, we're searching for it, we're like hunting for it, and that there are other ways. Like, that's the other part, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like, okay, guys, give up all plastic in your house right now. Maybe it is, let me slow down long enough to go find dopamine from the walk outside.
Exercise, nature, connection with somebody. Those are probably the three main ways. And not intended to make anybody feel bad or guilty. Nobody is bad or guilty. We are conditioned.
Yeah, we're conditioned.
You have been conditioned to live this way. And if we want anything to change in this world, we have to unlearn, decondition, and stand in your power and say, no, I'm not going to do that.
Not doing it. And even if it is something as simple as I'm making a choice today to go find free dopamine and not by scrolling more or being on Amazon, because we're all guilty. We are all guilty. And I'm not saying let's crash the economy. It's just there's better ways.
There's more than enough money out there. There's more than enough money.
Right. And think about it matters. So go buy locally. Go buy anything.
Exactly. So if you do feel the need, like I said, go to the secondhand shop and look for the shirt before you go over to Target, Nordstrom, wherever you go to shop.
And don't think that it's like you're all that you're classless for doing it, because you're not.
No. Like, flip that script of like, well, I'm classless or a loser or I'm broke and I can't afford it. No, flip that script. Poor. Yeah, like, exactly. It doesn't mean you're poor. It means that you're choosing to be a responsible steward of the earth and to be better about honoring yourself and respecting that little inner voice that's talking to you, that's saying you don't really need that.
You don't.
And instead of giving in to the little devil on the shoulder that's saying, no, but that's going to feel so good when you walk up to your door and you see that package sitting there. Say, that the little angel on the shoulder saying, no, you have that worth. I love
it's already in there. Yeah.
You are loved just for being you. You don't need that thing.
Yep.
So I think now we're beating a dead horse at this point.
We are, but I was excited about because it's 111.
It is
11th episode. 111
episode. 1188. Happy Lionsgate, everybody. Make those karmic shifts. Do that stuff. If you don't know what we're talking about, look it up. There's plenty of information online.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Breaking chains, doing massive soul evolving light worker shifts, major things going on, people. So we're glad that you stuck with us.
Yeah,
you guys.
This is a good time.
Sure.
Send us an email.
Send us an email. Soul Rising, SOL Rising @gmail.com. Let us know what you like. Let us know if we're crazy. Let us know if you want more. If you have something that you want to talk about, if you have an idea for a show, if you'd like to be a guest on the show.
Oh, yeah. If you'd like to be a guest, reach out.
We're going to do that soon.
Yeah, we're going to just start and
do
you're still
video.
going to get lots of me and Amanda. Yeah, we're looking at video. We're going to be on YouTube, and hopefully soon you'll get the visual too that you're going to be, we're going to probably start videotaping these so you can see
Yeah, we're
us.
probably going to bring the video into the meditation cave and let you guys get a glimpse of what's going on here. And then we're going to have guests. So yeah, like Ginny was saying, you're still going to get a lot of us, because I think the feedback that we're getting is that the chemistry or what goes on here with Ginny, we're still going to have that. We're just going to, like metaphor Ginny threw in before, we're adding mayo to the sandwich.
Yes.
We're going to be adding mayo to the sandwich by bringing on guests.
Yeah, Amanda was like, man, but we got our thing. I'm like, we do have our thing, but bringing someone in is just going to add mayo to the sandwich. She was like, okay, that feels safe.
That's just me being this like, stick in the mud. I don't like change. When I got something good, I like to not mess with it.
That's why you're our anchor. And then I'm all, wow, let's run it. We could fly off the cliff. It's great. That's why we work. That's why we're a magical team.
All right, guys.
We love you guys.
Yeah,
we love you.
Great one. Make it a good couple of weeks. We'll see you in 2.
Boom, boom. Hey, happy school year for everybody.
Yes,
The parents
happy
and kids.
school.
Have a safe, amazing, fantastic start of the new year. We love you guys. Peace.
If this podcast resonates with you and you want to dive deeper, check out my blog, Get Real, all in on love, loss, and connection at AmandaMcCoyFlanagan.com. That's McCoy with a K. You can also follow me on Instagram at Amanda McCoy Flanagan.
See you next time. Until then, let that soul rise.